Hi everyone, it's Roger and APF from DisKingdom.com, and we are going to be discussing the Disneyland 60th anniversary, which took place. It just kicked off last week, and there was a big 24-hour event. There's been loads of merchandise. It's going to be running all summer. So I'm going to flick this one over to Abe straight away so he can tell us some of the updates that they've done to Disneyland.
Wow, where to begin? There's so many awesome things that have debuted for the 60th celebration. First off, in Disneyland, they debuted a brand new nighttime parade called, I think it's called Paint with the Night or something like that. It brings brand new floats. It mixes the old Main Street Electrical Parade music, and it uses the technology of lights from the Japan version. It's just really cool. The floats are awesome. The music is amazing. The way they make the floats glow with lights nowadays are just above and beyond. They're just really cool. It's a very, very cool new parade show. Definitely check it out if you have a chance to come out here. Another awesome thing that they debuted was the new fireworks show. They usually have a nice new themed fireworks show with every little celebration. And they just went above and beyond this time. This time they have projections going on not only in the castle, but all down Main Street. So
oh, wow.
Whenever you have like Mary Poppins song coming on, you start seeing like the sweepers dancing on the rooftops of Main Street and then the castle, or you'll see like the Jungle Book. You'll see like jungle going through everywhere. So it's kind of cool. And then the fireworks, they're obviously, every year you see new technology making fireworks look amazing. Like Disney was actually the inventor of the technology of air propulsion fireworks, where you don't use gunpowder to launch them anymore. They just shoot them with air. Well, this year it looks like they teamed up with the fireworks designers, and they designed some brand new fireworks. So, you have some that explode and look like hearts, and then you have some that look like certain shapes. I know they've done smiley faces and other things before, but they have some new ones. And also, one of the coolest traditions with Disney on their fireworks show is they usually have Tinkerbell come down from the Matterhorn on the road and over the castle. This year, looks like we also had Nemo come down, so it kind of integrated a scene with Finding Nemo, and you see him just they kind of made it themed to that scene in the movie where he has to go through the big lava, the volcano, and they just made it seem like he went through it. But anyways, fireworks show is phenomenal. Whether you stand in front of it, the castle, or whether you stand in Main Street, it just looks cool. Oh, plus, of course, there's a Frozen segment in it, so you're going to also have snow happen in the middle of the whole show. So it's really cool. It's definitely a cool addition. And on the other side of the Esplande, they have, in California Adventure, they have a brand new World of Color Celebrate show, and it's obviously to celebrate Disneyland 60th. And it's so cool. They chose to have Neil Patrick Harris in the show narrating it. So it was interesting to see him and Mickey Mouse together announcing the whole show and telling you, going through it. But they almost took you through a whole history of Walt Disney and how Disneyland came to be. They went through how it all started with Mickey Mouse, and they went through how Disney's journey coming to Anaheim and creating this brand new theme park, to his very first animated feature, which was Snow White. And they had so many awesome epic scenes. This one is definitely a worthy rival to the original World of Color show. By the way, they did have this awesome segment with Star Wars in it, and it had a lot of Episode 7 stuff in it, so it was pretty interesting. So that's just on the show side. Then you also had some advancements on a couple of popular rides in the theme park. The Matterhorn just reopened, and they redid the Yeti inside. The Yeti used to be still, it still kind of freaked you out when it came out. Yeah, but it was just stiff and old school. Yeah, it has nostalgia. It's nostalgia for a lot of people. Obviously a lot of Vinylmations and Pops and all these things have been made pins with that Yeti. But this Yeti is definitely scarier. They've actually added a section inside the mountain where it kind of looks like stuff that he's collected throughout the years from the theme park. So you have like an old bobsled, an old sky ride vehicle, rides that don't even exist in Disneyland anymore are like in this thing. So it's kind of cool. The Yeti is awesome. Definitely check the ride out. The effects are cool. Something that opened up a little earlier, but it's still part of the 60th, which everybody loves and is excited for, is obviously the Hatbox Ghost. He's finally back home at the Haunted Mansion. Technology is amazing on this thing. I mean, I got to see a little close-up of the animatronics in 2013 for D23 Expo. But now in this show, it just looks really cool. Nice little section. Right after the bride attic scene, it goes right to it, and you'll see him. So definitely check that out. And one final ride, even though this debuted a little bit ago too as well, the storyboat canal boats. No, I'm sorry, the storybook canal boats. It's basically a little ride. You know, you take your kids on where you take a little tour, and you see all the houses of all the many characters in the Disney animated classics, and you see like miniature houses. Yeah. They just added this awesome section with Arendelle, and it's really cool. You see the castle, and then you see the backdrop with the giant, like the big mountains, the ice cap, and then on the very top you see Queen Elsa's ice castle on the top. Really cool addition. Definitely something to take a look at. A lot of cool things going on at Disneyland. Just know it's very popular right now. Expect a lot of crowds. Just expect a lot of hustle and bustle, but also expect to see some really cool merchandise, which Roger's going to tap into right now.
I mean, I just think, just tapping straight off of what you said there. I mean, the new show, it's a great way of getting. I think that's the thing with Disneyland, is that they've kind of got to appeal to a lot more local people because they're right by a city and keep updating things to get people to come back in, which maybe don't quite have that same thing like at Walt Disney World, where people are going there on vacation. So there's a slight different thing, but you know, having all new parades, all new shows will set them up for years. You know, they're going to be there. You know, this is not just literally a short-term summer thing. Those upgrades will be around for a bit. Upgrading the attractions, they've got to keep doing it. They've got to keep updating. Nostalgia only works so long until you stop. If you stop getting the new kids with their nostalgia, you're not going to get any money in the future. You know, updating the Yeti is a nod to the past, but also getting new people get into it. And I think that's what Disney need to do. Is nostalgia is great, but they have to keep moving on. And I think that's the cool thing. And it's like the 60th. It's about, you know, representing the past, but also bringing everything up to now.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that too, because they also did an upgrade in California Adventure in the old Condor Flats area, which used to be a desert. Once Cars Land opened, you know, obviously it was now 2 deserts, which didn't make sense. So now where Soaring California is, they've themed it to an old woodsy, like Yosemite type resort area. So it kind of connects to Grizzly Peak. So it's what you're talking about. It's like the ambience and continuity. This is all upgrading it to keep it current, and they obviously wanted to get it done before the 60th. So it's very cool. A lot of cool stuff that they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different merchandise. I know that 24-hour event was insane. They closed the gates. I mean, I remember flicking in a few times and looking at the live cameras, and it was just heaving. And I'd just be like, I couldn't enjoy the part like that. It would just be. It's like on one side of things, it'll have a whole atmosphere that will be different because of that. But, you know, just to be like squashed in and not being in weights and just lying to everything is not my idea of fun. But yeah.
I was going to say, this is the fourth year that they did a 24-hour event at Disneyland, and this year has been the craziest. They actually had to incorporate a phase 4 where they ended up having to close the park entirely, not letting people back in, even who had hand stamps or anything. It was pretty intense. I think they said that they had the most people show up to the theme park since 20 years ago. Like, this is the highest amount of people. That
shows you the pull of this 60th anniversary. And I think all these new shows and parades, and I think you probably got a whole generation of people that go, I want to be there for this. I want to be there for that day, for that event. I want to be part of this for the future. That had to be a big draw to people, just to be like, I want to be there on this special day. You know, because you say if it's the busiest day for 20 years, that shows you that they did it right. They hit it spot on.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's been loads and loads of merchandise being announced and being released. Makes sense. You know, it's a good time to look to the past. You know, they've got this theme for this year, the 60th anniversary. It's a good time to kind of look back on it. And then with the Vinylmation, they released a Eaches, which was like a diamond, a rise stone Vinylmation covered in them, and it was $29.99, so it wasn't cheap. But there was a variant blue version, LA2000. That seemed to hit a lot of people. Really excited about that figure. Sold really well. I think it sold out. There's a lot of buzz on sort of the groups, etc., with people trying to get hold of it. People love the variant version. Gonna be honest, for me, Rice Stones don't do anything for me. They don't, just putting. But I know a lot of people love them, and there was something quite simple about it, but also, I think again, this special moment. There was a special moment, and people wanted did something to remember it. So it was a perfect day to release it on. People are all hyped up about the 60th, and they're on a special day. And I'd be honest, if you released a $30 each's Vinylmation on any other day, it might not have been so successful, but that had that magic moment to capture it on that day. Did you see that Vinylmation?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I like you. Rhinestones do nothing to me but make me shiny. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. I know people go nuts over them. So it's just it's a personal thing. There is other Vinylmations coming out. There's going to be a new Park 16 set, which is going to feature lots of different ones. I'm really excited about that set. That's the one I'm waiting for. There's been loads of stuff. There's new T-shirts, new pins, new badges, if you can, I think there's something like 500 different merchandise stuff being created for this Disneyland, plus more. They are just going, right, this is it this year, you're having this lot.
Yeah, they had this new paintbrush that's kind of supposed to be interactive with the paint with the night show, the parade show. Well, at least I believe that paintbrush is interactive with the Japanese show, where you wave your brush and it kind of changes colors, but I don't know if it does the same out here.
I know, like it's like those the hats that they've introduced with the glowing ears. I know when I was in Disney World a few years ago, they were just doing it for Fantasmic. They've also got them in Disneyland Paris when I was out there a couple of months ago, and I think it's the same technology across all parks, and it just ties into they're sending out a signal and it changes the color, and it's cool. I mean, unfortunately, Disney do not make those hats big enough for heads like this.
You're the only one, my friend.
They literally just poke on the top of they just poke on the top of my head, and they just like, I stand there in shops going, I would buy one, but it doesn't fit. I need a bigger one. But yeah, loads and loads of Disneyland 60th anniversary stuff. Just in general, and I think we're gonna be finding out a lot more over the coming months. I think they'll just keep streaming things out, different artists bringing bits and pieces out, and I think in general this year is all about Disneyland's 60th anniversary, and that has been the strong position for Disney just to keep pushing forward. I mean, they're going to be pushing their other movies and stuff, but it's Disneyland's year this year.
Absolutely.
And I think next year is going to be Shanghai, so it's going to be the main push, I think, from that side of things. But yeah, it's definitely Disneyland 60th is the main thing that people are pushing this year, and I think they're going to have probably by the looks of it and the way that the people are excited and the new shows, I think they're going to have a bumper summer, a bumper year at Disneyland because of everything.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be popular.
Yes, and when Abe goes down there, he will then be sharing his own thoughts on some of those other bits and pieces. I know. You live in LA and don't go. It's just
I go there a lot, actually. I don't know what you're talking about. In fact, there was a time where I used to go like 2 or 3 times a month, and I live an hour away. So I just haven't gone recently. It's been busy.
I think it'll be one of those things of I think if I live too close, it's like it's far enough away so that I have to make a lot of effort to go, so that it's more special. I think if it was nearby, I'd be at D Street like every week.
Well, I used to live maybe about 30-minute drive away from it, but now I live about an hour drive, and that's only because of LA traffic. But now I live 5 minutes away from Universal Studios, so it's kind of tough.
Oh,
yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, that's pretty tough. I'm jumping on the dark side there.
Yeah, but I've always been a Sith, so whatever.
Okay, guys, we're going to leave that on there. If you'd like to hit that subscribe button, and we would love to have you as there. And also remember to check us out at DisKingdom, and you can find us on Facebook, at Twitter, and all the other things. Okay, big thank you to Abe for joining me on this one.
Yeah,
and
no
we'll
problem.
see you guys later.
You guys at Disneyland. Woo!
Laters.